All right, hey, welcome to Hunkered Down with Seth. I am here with one of my favorite people. Here's the thing about this guy. He's one of those guys that I love because if you have an issue with him, that's on you. There is absolutely no reason to find any flaws. He's friendly, he's funny, he's a great comic, he's a staple on the Long Beach, Huntington, Orange County, Anaheim, basically anything south southeast of LA. This guy's there. Dan Zambrano. Daniel, great talking to
Hey,
you.
Seth, thank you.
I
Thank you.
do miss you a lot.
It's wonderful talking to you. I'm missing too, Seth. It's weird not going to Royal Cup every Saturday and just
Yeah.
enjoying an early mic and then the rest of Long Beach at night. You know,
Oh, for sure.
I yeah.
Have you been doing these virtual comedy shows?
No, not at all. I've been spending all my time quite literally just eating, exercising, and then playing this game called Animal Crossing. I'm not sure if you've
Uh,
familiarized yourself with that.
I mean, I'm familiar, but I haven't played. I'm still stuck in Fortnite because it's free.
Oh yeah, it's essentially just a game where raccoons coerce you into entering the housing market.
Uh,
It's it's as strangely and as accurately as I can put it.
oh, nice. And there's
Yeah.
turnips and farming involved, I assume.
Oh yeah, today's actually the day to buy turnips. My I'm gonna go deep on this. My turnips turn out at 110 bells, so I'm definitely not gonna buy from my island. So I'm waiting for some friends to send me their turnip stock prices. Yeah, you sell them on this is real on the Stow Jones stock market. Stock like a a stock of bamboo. It's clever that way.
Oh, definitely. I have a buddy who's one of the more renowned Animal Crossing players. No, true story. You ever hear of Mike Drucker? Yeah, he's
Oh no.
so Mike. It's funny talking to you, but I'm bringing up this guy complete. Long story short, there was this
Oh no, this is fun.
the guy who wrote Rogue One has an Animal Crossing talk show, and
Yeah.
Mike Drucker, since he is the head writer of Late Night with Samantha Bee, he was the first guest on the Animal Crossing talk show. So it
I mean, that's awesome that they can. It's actually dive deep down this weird niche video gaming. Really, it's a cult following that this has.
it's more than a cult
I mean,
following.
I guess like a lot of video games nowadays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it,
yeah. I mean, I always see that way with the Japanese games because they will transcend into the mainstream, like into a bunch of different countries. But I never really like until now, I guess, will admit that it's a lot bigger than I thought it would. I mean, because there's memes everywhere. It's all over Twitter, all over Reddit, and then I mean AOC is playing, so
yeah,
that must say a lot.
it's crazy. It's like the way I see it, the Animal Crossing universe is like a cult compound, and you got all these people just waiting for instructions of when to take over the U.S. government.
Oh yeah, it was actually it must have just been a genius plot by Nintendo to release the game during these quarantines, and then of course everybody in the United States to use their stimulus check to buy a Switch and to buy
Yeah,
Animal Crossing, and then to just spend their time on there. If they can't go outside, if they can't live their own life outside, they can do that in Animal Crossing.
yeah. I stupid me. I took my check and spent it on rent. What was I
Oh wow,
thinking?
that's a terrible decision.
Yeah,
Trying to live.
yeah.
I hope they've cut down your rent though. Long Beach is part of that LA we're stopping rent type of deal, right?
Well, building, it's one of those. The manager said it's a case by case basis, and so far we're a case. We're talking with him. Don't want to get into too many details, but yeah, we have a case.
Okay, but you still until further notice, you still have to pay rent by the end of this month, right?
Yes, but it's one of
Uh,
those things. I don't want to get too into the
oh yeah,
craziness.
I also don't want to get you kicked out for anything that may or may not align with the truth.
Yeah. So let's move on. How have how have you been protesting with the Huntington Beach people?
Let's see, how have I been? I mean, I have actually been going to Laguna Beach, not like on the beach, but
Oh,
that's my little bit of protesting. I'm gonna go out as socially distant and mouth covered as I can to actually see the beach. You know,
yeah,
I'm not completely following the bunker down rules. At the same time, I'm doing my best to follow them.
yeah.
It's really hard. I mean,
It is. It-
yeah, you gotta get that vitamin D in.
oh, for sure. Yeah, me and my lady, we would go to the Sunset Beach before they closed everything, and now that they're opening up everything, it's
Yeah,
it's tough. We told ourselves we're not going to go during the weekends just because they'll be too crowded. So we'll
yeah.
just go, Mondays through Fridays. We've been meaning to get down to San Clemente because apparently that's where the tiniest bikinis are during this quarantine. But
There's also a restaurant that's now open in San Clemente now. You hear about that?
no, I haven't.
Yeah, there's one place. I forget what it was, but I think it opened up like last week. It was packed with like 180 people each day, something like that. So, I mean, they got what they wanted. They wanted people at their store.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how effective it was in terms of keeping people not sick.
No, just off the food. I mean, San Clemente restaurants. Ugh.
Yeah.
Might as well just go to Jack in the Box.
It seems that type of way. I think the only place I've gone that was good around there was someplace in Dana Point, and that's not close enough to be San Clemente to care about that area.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like, have you noticed when you order out, either the portions are smaller or that the food just isn't as good?
I honestly, unfortunately, I can't agree with you on that. I've only eaten essentially just junk food when I go out.
Yeah.
The couple places that I have ordered from, they are they have been tested time and time again by me before this quarantine. So
Yeah.
I really trust them. It's Hiro Nori. I'm not sure.
Oh,
Been
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're fantastic. I go to the one in Irvine, and then there's another place called Crave. This new burger place right by me. Amazing. So
Is
I've
it
been
one of
lucky
those
enough to just binge on those.
is it one of those annoying places that's spelled Krave?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's delicious though.
Yeah.
If you can find a sponsor, if you can shout anybody out, it has to be either Crave or Hero Nori. Probably Hero Nori. They seem more local. You know.
Yeah. I mean, our usual burger place, we ordered them, and I always special order mine like ketchup, mustard, grilled onions. But the
Yeah.
other burger we ordered was everything, and it was actually cold, and we assumed that they made that extra for another order and just threw it in
Oh
ours.
God,
So we were
that's
disappointed
absolutely
by
awful.
that. Yeah, and our Korean place literally gave us half the bulgogi that we would have gotten before the quarantine. And it was,
Jesus Christ,
I mean, in Long Beach, I think
that's
there's,
not acceptable.
yeah, it's not at all. And I think it's because we ordered Grubhub with the Korean place, and Grubhub steals
Yeah.
60% of their money.
Yeah. I never knew that. I mean, I would always assume that they would have taken percentage, but I never knew it was enough for, say, like of that restaurant to say, "Hey, you guys just ordered directly off our business phone number."
Yeah. That,
And it's crazy because these apps are supposed to be helping these people, whereas they're just turning a profit for themselves.
yeah,
That's not good.
they're just the middleman in an industry that really didn't need a middleman.
Oh yeah.
You know? And
How have you been in the tipping situation, Seth?
oh
I've found myself to tip as much as I can now, like especially it's places I like,
yeah.
just to give them that extra boost.
Well, interesting fact about me: from age 16 to age 21, I delivered pizza. So
Oh shit!
so
Yeah,
I
you know it.
yeah. So I've always tipped 25% regardless. Even at the library or something, when I would go, I'd buy like a $2 apple juice there. I'd always tip at least $1.
Yeah, I mean, it's been hard before, but now it's especially worse.
Oh, it's ungodly
Is the way I
worse.
see it.
Everything's worse.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, like you said, specifically for you, the food portions have been worse.
yeah. I mean,
I have found that my coffee has not been the best. I don't know what the fuck's up with about that. One of these two places to get a latte, and it was just awful.
you
Maybe
know,
for me the lactose intolerance is setting in.
ooh, that'll do it.
Yeah,
But I
I've been
think,
having a lot more milk. How
yeah.
about you?
Well, I think it's the
It's not
prison
good.
mentality. It's, you just walk into a cup of coffee, walk into a Starbucks, you grab a cup of coffee, you take a sip, you know, you sit down for 5 minutes just to take a load off, then you wonder what you're gonna do next, or if you
Yeah,
have something next, how you're gonna do it. Since so many of those liberties have been stripped away, half the point of enjoying a cup
yeah.
of coffee is gone.
Yeah, I would say so. Now it's just to get that little bit of buzz. That's it.
Yeah, you're chasing the dragon instead of just plot. It goes from plotting
Yeah.
to an escape, and the escape is not what you want.
Oh man, I need myself an escape. That's why I made some coffee earlier, but it's not hit yet. I need it to hit, Seth.
Yeah. Well, I would recommend mixing it with drugs, but that's even more of an escape.
It's the best you can do. Just add a little bit, just a little Adderall
Yeah,
to that coffee, that morning coffee.
get the
Give you
real
that
kick.
real zip, that FDA approved zip.
Oh, definitely. But have you been doing anything creative wise? Have you been writing more, or just other than Animal Crossing? But have you, put your big comedic brain to any use?
Uh, Not much. Really, just been doing my best to at least jot down premises, flush them out, maybe like a day or two afterwards, after maybe having a conversation with friends. But with friends, that's really where all the writing is happening. Since there's clearly a lot more time to either play video games and be like on mic with a couple of pals of mine, or just doing Zoom chats with them.
Yeah,
That's really where the writing is happening, as opposed to just pen to paper or finger to keys on my phone.
yeah. What I've
It's
noticed,
been fruitful.
yeah, but with the Zoom chat, what I don't like is like at a comedy show, you got the microphone, you're in charge, focus is on you.
Yeah,
With a Zoom chat, everybody's the same volume, and it's really tough.
yeah. And it's very difficult to keep any sort of focus on those chats because one, I mean, you have somebody maybe they raise their voice and then like five people just stop talking because they want to hear the rest of that guy's conversation, but that guy thinks that somebody else is going to start their conversation, so he stops talking, and then there's that little like and then the guy finally continues his thing, and then it just ruins momentum.
Oh, completely. I I've done some Zoom comedy shows, and it's also one of those things where if you get a big laugh, you literally can't piggyback
Yeah,
off it. You gotta wait for it to end before you can start again. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
man. I just want to go out, find 8 people, get them together, and say, look, this is legally the most we could have. Here's some dick jokes.
I think those will become a plenty by the time this is over.
Yeah,
Those will come back in style, the dick jokes.
definitely. What I think it's going to take is an Eddie Murphy comedy tour to bring back stand up.
Oh yeah, he was doing that, or that was quote unquote in the works before this quarantine, right? Eddie Murphy, or
Yeah,
at least it was a special.
yeah, and I just think to bring him back, to bring back stand up, because everything's going to be so weird and everybody's going to be afraid to gather. Just to have an event that's
Yeah,
so once in a lifetime that it's just going to overtake everybody's fears and just say, I might be with 50,000 people, but I'm going to see Eddie Murphy again on stage.
yeah. Oh man, everybody's talking about how live crowds are going to be over after this. I really don't. I don't think so. I
No.
think it may be the case for specific industries, you know, but ones that people generally care more about than I guess themselves, like specific music artists, sports especially. Those are probably going to come back in droves. I personally feel that you're going to see a lot more, probably like shitty soccer teams get higher attendance than that you need.
Oh, yeah. You know, the
Yeah,
Galaxy is just
that's
going to be
also what
sold
I've
out.
been. Yeah, but that's the other thing that's been on my mind this whole time. I'm a big soccer fan, so it's just been soccer news up and around and everywhere for me.
Yeah, Bundesliga
Just
said they
trying to
might
get
be
my
coming back.
fix. Yeah, there is some problems with that at the moment from what I've seen. There's a couple of teams that had like 1 or 2 players test positive for the COVID over the last week or so.
Yeah.
So that kind of puts it into jeopardy. Bundesliga do seem like they're stuck on, hey, I think it's like the 18th that they're going to restart. I think they're pretty adamant about that restart date. But
Well,
there's big leagues like the English Premier League. They still have not found any date to return. They have an idea of when they want to return, but they're currently trying to get all the clubs to agree upon a certain way of how to return it.
yeah,
Like they could continue the last of the games in neutral grounds, which some teams don't want, which is ridiculous because nobody's going to be in the grounds. You're not going to get any home field advantage.
yeah.
You know, playing in front of an empty stadium.
No, no.
So there's some smaller clubs that are bitching about that, which is ridiculous. Or the other side of this is to just null and void the season, where nobody gets anything, even though Liverpool were clear front runner, and like Norwich were about to be relegated.
Yeah, just
They could just null and void the season and say, hey, we're going to restart the shit, which that's not fair.
no, but
Seems
nobody.
like there's no winning.
Yeah, and but then again, this is a once in a once in a 200, 300 years situation where it might be understandable to say we're going to start all over from scratch because we
Yeah.
you know all the teams that were on their way to promotion, sorry, all the teams on the way to relegation, congratulations, you get another year at top level. And
Yeah.
um,
I, I it sucks.
it does, you know.
It's horrible all around.
But hey, at least my
Were you
son.
a big soccer fan before the Sith?
Um, yeah, I got into soccer because I did my college fun 2005 trip uh, to Germany during the Confederations Cup, so I got hooked then. And
Oh wow.
yeah, I worked on the field crew for the Seattle Sounders for a few years, and yeah,
Oh no shit.
yeah.
Hell yeah. Never
So
knew that about you, Seth.
a huge soccer fan. I, it's funny. Like in the overseas leagues, I despise the big teams because
Yeah,
every league has two or three New York Yankees, and I can't stand that.
yeah.
So my English team is Plymouth Argyle, who's currently in the fourth division.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
that's quite a ways down.
I would talk to a British person, and I'd say, yeah, I'm a huge Plymouth Argyle fan, and they're like, why? And I'm like, someone's got to root for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. My theory, my theory is I'd rather be happy when my team gets 3 points than mad when they don't.
It's actually a really good way to look at it.
Oh,
Because there comes a sense of entitlement of saying, oh, my team didn't win, or we lost, we did this. I'm like, yeah, but I mean, people like Sunderland or they have shit owners, and they have like a 20 million debt in League One.
yeah,
It could be so much worse.
definitely. And Sunderland is still they're in League One, and they're still attracting 30,000 fans per game, which is more than half the
Yeah,
Premier League.
that's the beauty of it. That teams like that can get that type of attraction.
Yeah,
You get those diehards that have been there for years, and then they continue to support even through the thick and thin. That's actually one thing I've asked myself to finish during this quarantine. I don't know if you've seen it yet. Sunderland Until I Die on
Y-
Netflix.
yeah. I've watched the first couple episodes. I got to finish that too.
Oh man, it's great. Um, for one, to see the livelihood of that fan base, because I always knew that they were a big club and never really saw how ingrained it was into that city. And now you just see it more. But the other part of it that I liked was seeing like the way the editors and producers created that suspense within those episodes, and I knew exactly how those results in those games went. So they had like triumphant music and like a sigh of relief almost when Sunderland scored. And then I'm going back like, no, let's just wait 10 more minutes, and
Yeah.
then this team is going to implode. It's great.
Oh,
I don't like a happy ending,
no,
and this it is perfect for me.
no. Also, I've been following the Scottish League for the past couple years. It's,
Oh man, the Celtic, Rangers, Dundee. Who are you? What's
yeah,
your pick?
I've been liking Hearts, even
Yeah,
though,
yeah. A lot of Edinburgh, right? That's where
yeah,
they're from.
yeah.
Yeah,
And the funny thing is, they were on the way to get relegated this year, but
yeah. And they got saved from it, right?
exactly. And I don't know. I've been having more fun watching this or following the Scottish YouTube channel than like following every detail of every big star of Liverpool or Manchester City.
Yeah,
You get so much news from all that. I just like watching a highlight of a game, not knowing who this guy's dating or how much he's making per week.
yeah. Because none of that shit matters.
No, not at all. Just some guy goes to work, plays soccer, goes home. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's his life.
Yeah. No,
Hearts are a real down earth club.
oh, definitely. And I also follow Tromso in the Norwegian league. And
Oh wow, that's real fucking deep.
yeah,
That's
the
that's
cool
getting into a hipster territory.
yeah, the cool thing about Tromso is that they are the only top flight club in the world that's located in the Arctic Circle.
Oh shit, no way.
Yeah. So, I mean, me being from Wisconsin, I sort of relate to that. Just being so far in the
Yeah.
north that very few people care.
Oh
So,
my god.
and I don't know. I try to have like one team per country, but
Yeah,
I make sure it's like a little team that needs my support.
absolutely. That's probably the bigger thing to remember when you're following. For me, just soccer because the basketball teams and NFL teams they all have giant mega deals. You
Yeah,
know that they're never going to go broke. If they do go broke, it's the player's fault.
Yeah.
These lower end teams, or even higher end teams that are just in an unfashionable country, these guys are still working class. Like even with a team like Ajax, who were absolutely massive, their whole Champions League run last year, I think up to like the semifinals that they made it. Like 1 or 2 games before that, they essentially paid off every expense for that year by the time they made it to the semifinals. And that's insane.
Yeah.
It's like just on this one competition, like yeah, like that's how humble this club is. Even though they have all that great success, it still takes them. They've made their finances to the point where they're still living within their means because they're not a Bayern, they're not a United. They don't have that type of power that they do market-wise, even though they're a massive team.
Yeah, and on top of that, they sold their best player for like 75 million
Yeah.
euros. So
Happens every season in, season out, and they have to add that to their budget and say, hey, this is what's going to help us sustain this club.
yeah, and
Another crazy example was Atalanta this year. By the time they got into the round of 16 in the Champions League, they'd had all their expenses already paid for this year, which is insane. I think their wage budget was less than what like Ronaldo or Messi makes in a year. The whole team.
yeah, definitely.
It's fucking nutty.
Yeah, I'm definitely a champion of the underdog. During the Civil War reenactments, I would dress as the Indians.
Yeah.
That's the type of guy I am.
I thought you were going a different way there, Seth. A
No.
very controversial way.
No, I watched Gettysburg just so I could see all those Confederates die nightly.
Oh man, there was that one movie in recent times where Tobey Maguire. It was like some Civil War era movie. It followed a African American Confederate soldier or something like that.
Ooh.
I don't remember the name of it. Maybe I saw it in a dream. Maybe it's fake, but pretty sure it's a thing.
Yeah,
Tobey Maguire
I'm
in
thinking
this Civil War movie.
Spider-Man as an African American in the Civil War on the Confederate side.
I mean, with the Avengers, anything is possible, right?
Yeah, definitely. With CGI, who knows? All right, so rounding third, coming home, Daniel. After this quarantine's over, when it's safe to do things again, what are your plans? What are you gonna do?
See what will be I think the first thing that I'm going to do when this quarantine is over, honestly, I'm very humble. Just probably going to go to one of my favorite restaurants with some friends and then just, have some drinks, have some food, and then enjoy what we love to do, which is just our own company with that little bit of, munch. Something like that. On a more selfish thing, I'd probably... I think that's it.
Wow.
No, I think I just want to hang out with friends. There's no selfish part of this.
You see, guys, that's why I love Daniel Zambrano. He absolutely doesn't have a selfish bone in his body. He is a great guy. And you know what? Let's wrap up on that, on you being the Gandhi of the Long Beach comedy scene.
Thank you, Seth. Gandhi was a creep. So maybe we can go with a non-L. Ron Hubbard of the OC comedy scene. We can go with that.
Yeah, that's perfect. All right, so thanks for watching Hunkered Down with Seth.